If he would have came to Bayern, he would have been playing with a better team, a better squad, under a better coach, let me tell you.
If you're gonna go James Bond in the Champions League, of course, in all competitions, then of course, then the media is gonna absolutely crucify you with that. So
the newest member of 007 Club has arrived. First, it was Kai Havertz. Now it is Florian Wirtz, the newest member from Bayern Leverkusen to the Premier League. Same story, but Bayern wanted him at one point. Did Bayern make the right decision on not getting Wirtz?
this guy is completely on fraud watch. It was not a decision. Let's be completely honest here. He rejected us. I think it's a blessing in disguise.
Let's dive into his last games with Liverpool. How did he even earn the title of 007? Is it deserved? In the Premier League, this guy hasn't even registered a single goal contribution, but we do have to state the fact that, I mean, at least he has an assist in the Community Shield, the glorified tournament it is, and he has one goal against Northern Ireland with Germany. So that doesn't even count because that's not even with Liverpool. So technically still 007. He's just ghosting in big games such as like when they played against Chelsea, played against Arsenal, Crystal Palace, and Galatasaray, all ghosting performances from Wirtz. 007 certified 100%.
It really is a blessing in disguise because Florian Wirtz, I mean, yeah, he's a quality player, and I do think eventually he's gonna start creeping up and start, like, you know, actually his form is gonna go up again. I generally do think so, and you know, it hurts for me to say that because I am actually one of the biggest Florian Wirtz hate watchers and whatnot. I mean, he's a class player, obviously, but did Bayern Munich actually dodge a bullet with this one? Did the footballing gods actually save us? Because as we know, with injuries, with robberies, with all of that, the footballing gods have cursed us, let me tell you. But finally, did they cook for us instead? And then we got Luis Diaz, and you know what, he's been absolutely balling. But I don't know, it's a good question. You know, obviously, I think personally for me, I think everyone is overreacting, and you know, I mean, that's just the football media at the end of the day. If you're gonna go James Bond in the Champions League, of course, in all competitions, then of course, then the media is gonna absolutely crucify you with that. So I mean, kind of tough to say, but I do think Bayern Munich really dodged the bullet with this one. I really think that if Wirtz came into Bayern and if Jamal Musiala came back, then one of them would have not been good. I honestly think that one of them probably would have been falling off, and you know, based off Jamal Musiala's injury and whatnot, it could have been him. We could have lost our Pookie Bear if Florian Wirtz joined Bayern Munich. I mean, I genuinely think that could happen. I mean, yeah, on paper, Musiala on the left wing, Wirtz at cam, they could switch, and then Olise on the right and Kane up top. Oh, that is definitely amazing. Vincent Kompany, he was saying like Jamal Musiala was going to be the prior number 10, and Florian Wirtz didn't like that. That's why he didn't join Bayern Munich. So Liverpool fans, do not be talking like, oh, he rejected us. No, that's the only reason why he rejected us, because he was going to be Musiala's shadow. Lock that in for sure. So I don't know. I do think Bayern Munich really dodged the bullet with this one for sure. I think Luis Diaz is absolutely fantastic. I think a winger was definitely more important in this transfer, like a proper winger, a winger that was going to track back and whatnot, and we have that winger. I mean, yeah, of course, the price, 75 million. I know everyone's in the comments saying like, oh, it should have been 150 million for Luis Diaz. No, let's be realistic here. It should have been less than 75, but at least he's cooking, and I apologize for all of my Colombians for saying that Luis Diaz wouldn't have been a good signing. But I mean, yeah, I mean, let's see what Joey thinks about it. I know I kind of yapped a little bit, but let's see what Joey thinks.
Even though Wirtz doesn't have any goal or assist, I do not think Bayern actually dodged the bullet with this one, because it's a completely different circumstance. If he would have came to Bayern, he's playing in the same exact league that he was doing amazing in. Completely different story when you move across to the Prem. Completely different story. And on top of that, he would have been playing with a better team, a better squad, under a better coach, let me tell you.
Oh!
Because the way that Bayern has been playing, Kompany is clearly better than Arne Slot this season. Luis Diaz is better than Gakpo this season. Olise is better than Salah this season. And Harry Kane is better than whoever's playing striker for Liverpool. Isak or Ekitike, whoever is up there.
It's true.
So yeah, I mean, clearly he would have been doing better. And I mean, he would have been playing 10 instead of Gnabry, which honestly, maybe they would have been competing, which is sad to say if Wirtz had the same form as Gnabry right now. Maybe Gnabry would be ahead of him. But I definitely think in the long term, we didn't dodge a bullet, because I think actually, like Pat said, no matter how good Luis Diaz plays, having Wirtz on the left side with Musiala, generational stuff. Would have been generational stuff.
Fair
on
enough.
top of that, the age of Musiala and Olise and Wirtz, they would all reach their prime together, hopefully, at Bayern.
That's true.
And I think, you know, we're going to have to spend we're going to end up spending more money, basically, on Diaz's replacement.
Yeah.
I know he's in terms of that, it's a long ways away, 4 or 5 years. But when Musiala reaches his prime, when Olise reaches reaches his prime in the long term, we're going to have to spend even more money on another left winger. So I think investing in Wirtz early would have been a much better investment.
That's fair.
Where the market's going, it's going to be more expensive.
But what with 150 million you would have spent on Florian Wirtz?
I don't know.
That's
there
the
were
real
reports,
question.
150 million.
I mean, that's what Leverkusen wanted because they didn't want to sell to their top rival unless if it's for bigger money. I mean, obviously, you know, Florian Wirtz at Bayern, that would have been absolutely fantastic. But I do think 150 million is definitely a lot. I would say 100 million max. That's what I would have done. 100 million max. And I think if that was the case, if Wirtz was available for 100 million, then I actually would have been crashing out. Even with the 007 memes and all that, all the people, Premier League tards, you know, talking about how Florian Wirtz isn't a good player. But I mean, 150 million, I do think that is a lot of money. That could even, I think that would have probably put us in the negatives for net profit, even if we didn't sign Luis Diaz, for an example. So I don't know. I do think.
I don't know. Barca still owe us 20 mil for Lewandowski, so lock that in.
Yeah, because maybe if we did buy Florian Wirtz, maybe we would have kept Kingsley Coman. Maybe we wouldn't have gotten another winger like Luis Diaz. And as we are currently seeing right now, I think Luis Diaz is really saving our season at this given moment in time. I mean, obviously it's a lot of players here and there, but look how Liverpool are playing. I feel like if they actually had Luis Diaz, I genuinely think they probably, of course, they lost Diogo Jota, and I'm sure that is a huge, you know, loss for them, and obviously, and it's harder to play with them because originally, of course, he would have been in that squad. So obviously, you know, you got to give the benefit of the doubt too, and I feel like not a lot of people are really talking about that as they should, because psychologically it's definitely hard. Imagine not playing with a teammate that you have been playing with for so many years, of course. So that definitely could play a huge part into it as well. But I do think that Luis Diaz, if he was there in the Liverpool squad, I definitely think it would be a lot better, like in terms of like fluidity in the football. Maybe actually Florian Wirtz would probably cook with a player like Luis Diaz. I do think Luis Diaz was probably, like, obviously Salah is the best winger, but definitely Luis Diaz was the second best winger, and a lot of Liverpool fans were ripping on Luis Diaz, and they were ripping on Bayern for buying him for 75 mil. I do agree with the 75 mil, but he's still a class player, and I genuinely think, no bias whatsoever, he would have helped a lot. And he was like one of the top Premier League goal scorers at one point, I think, at this point in the season last year. So there's a reason for that. There's a reason why there's a Lucho chance at the end of the day.
Also, on top of that, just because he doesn't have any goals or assists doesn't mean he's, you know, actually playing well. If you actually watch Liverpool games and whatnot, sure, it might not be 100% like his performances in Leverkusen, but he is obviously adjusting and whatnot. And I actually think he does have some semi-decent performances just in terms of playing in the midfield. There's so much more to the game than just goals and assists, obviously. And I know it's kind of boring to say it and maybe a cop-out, a lot of people say, but I still do think Wirtz is having some decent to good performances for Liverpool. He just needs to get, you know, assists. It's not up to him. Sure, he could create as many chances as he wants, and, you know, if he creates them, you know, they got to finish their dinner. And then, you know, goals, of course, sure, that's up to him for sure. Yeah. But, I mean, like I said, it's England. It's a whole different country, whole different system, whole different coach, everything.
It's true, but, I mean, of course, you know, he's had some decent performances here, but he's been benched a couple of times for Liverpool. He was benched in their most recent game to Chelsea.
So Arne Slot clearly doesn't know how to use him, and he should come to Bayern on a cheap fee to play with company ball.
50 million release clause. Buddy sources are the best. Lock that in.
Lock that in. Alright, but yeah, let us know what you guys think in terms of this question. Did Bayern dodge a bullet by not signing Wirtz? Let us know what you guys think. I'm sure everyone's going to be saying yes, of course, but let's see what you guys think. Give us your reasons why, not just yes or no, but give us your reasons why. If you say yes, Bayern dodged a bullet, let us know what you guys think, of course, and I'd love to discuss it with you guys.
Of course.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and Florian Wirtz is a flop. Bang!